welcome to another episode of Shine the Light. And today's guest is Paul Mango. What's up, brother?
How are you today?
I'm doing well. Paul is a barber and owns a hair shop in Quincy. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. We originally, my dad started the business back in Wollaston on Beale Street 40 years ago.
Wow.
And they tore that building down, as we all know, and we had the new home, and we ended up right here on Wollaston Street. And been here 6 years already, and great. Really very
That's
happy.
that's amazing. So your father was a barber first.
Yes, my dad started barbering in 1963 and took a little hiatus and worked at the T for a little while, then opened Paul's Barber in 1980.
And what year did you start cutting hair?
I graduated North Quincy High School, 1986, and went into barber school that September, and I've been cutting hair since 1987.
That is unbelievable. So, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a sister, and she was a barber briefly, and but then she got married and had a couple kids, and she sort of retired from the business.
Yeah. So this is your business, and where's it located now?
We are at 381 Washington Street in Quincy, Massachusetts, right next to Rag, and across the street from the old Anderson bike, which was the old Quincy.
So how many people do you have working in your shop right now?
So there are four of us here altogether. I work with two of my nephews, Sal and Anthony Tortomasi, who are brothers, and another gentleman named Jeff Miller. So four of us.
What a crazy journey to have your dad on Walston. So I have a little bit of history in Quincy, being that my father grew up on Albion.
Yep.
And when I was a kid, this was like I'd come down from New Hampshire because that's where I grew up. And I had no idea I could be going to the moon. As far as I knew, I'd get in the car and I'd end up at this little brick bungalow on Albion, or not brick. it was cement, and then we would go there and walk down to the bowling alley that was on I think it was on Walston, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Yep. But I mean, it's such a cool thing to have so much history, and your dad have been barbering for so long, and then for you to take it up, I mean, that's pretty cool. It's nice to have like a legacy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I knew I wasn't really the college material type and had to find something to do. So figured why not give the old trade a shot, and then it's been good to me.
That's
lifelong friends. I've cut generations of people's hair, still continue to this day. And like I said, I'm blessed to be able to work with two of my nephews. Been a great journey. And with my dad for a long, long time until my father retired a few years ago. Very fortunate.
That is amazing. Do you have kids?
I have two girls. Yep, 21 and 17. Oldest is in college, senior at Weymouth High.
Oh, cool. Are they interested in cutting hair?
Not at all.
So it's just so interesting. What would be something that was probably your biggest accomplishment being a barber for so long? Something that you look back on, or a moment that would, maybe would be unique to you and other people would like to know about, like what it's like to be a barber.
It's a great profession. I mean, you have to show up every day because you don't make a penny. So you definitely have to show up every day and be willing to work. And, just come to work with a smile, a good attitude, and you have to be happy and know a little bit about everything and a lot about nothing.
Yeah.
And that's really about it. Like I said, I've made friends. I've been people's barber their entire lives. Gave them their first haircut and still cut their hair today. Now they're in their 30s. It's pretty amazing. They've gone along my journey as well. They've seen me get married, have children, eventually open up my own place here, and it's been great.
That's so cool. So, having cut for so long, is there something that stands out, like a haircut or a person or like an experience that has just stood out to you as something that's like you always share about it?
No, I mean, doing it for 30 years, I've seen it all. Started in the 80s, of course, with the mullets, and they're sort of making a comeback now. Went
Yeah.
to mushrooms, undercuts, militaries. We do it all. I mean, I myself, I do a lot of flat tops, a lot of don't do.
Mush mushrooms sounds funny. I never heard them called a mushroom cut.
Right.
That's really that's really funny. That's what you call the what is that like the Dutch boy?
Pretty much, yeah. Sort of like a little line around the whole head, and yeah, just exactly like just look like a sort of bowl of hair on top of the head. But like what
The
Mo Howard.
Mo from like the Stooges.
Yes, exactly.
That is, I just like it being called a mushroom cut. It's so funny for some reason.
Right.
When I when I was living in New Hampshire, I had to get a haircut because I get haircuts, but I always put my I put a hat on. You wear hats a lot too. Do you? Probably.
Honestly, I really don't wear hats at work. The reason I'm wearing it today is for the video here. Promote the
Sure.
business. We
Yeah.
sell some shirts, we sell hoodies, so we
Oh,
sell some
cool.
merch. Yep.
Yeah. It's important. It's important to get your brand out and for people to recognize you and create like a vibe and a family around what you're doing, which it seems like you're doing. I mean, how cool is it to have your nephews in there? Is that what they are?
Yes.
Your nephews? Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's great. I'm happy. We're one big happy family, and keeping it in the family, is a big thing because someday, eventually, when I retire, if I retire, it's all theirs. They can
Mhm.
take. Who knows where it goes from there? Onward and
Yeah.
upward.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, I was so saying like when I was up in New Hampshire, I had this woman cut my hair and I didn't know her. I just was like, oh, okay. I pull into the spot and I was like, just give me a trim. And she was, I don't know if she was out of it or something. I don't know what was going on, but she ended up taking like the blade off and just
Uh-oh.
went
Oh,
right down to the thick. And she
oh,
goes, ooh, I didn't mean to do that. And then she had to shave my whole head. And
yep.
it wasn't part of the plan. I was like, oh, this is not what I thought. But
When it ask.
what's that?
Sometimes when in doubt, you always have to ask. Sometimes two or three times. Make sure that we're all on the same page about what type of haircut the people want.
So
Sorry.
you do a lot of stuff to give back to Quincy, and I'd love to hear about that and how you feel about that and why you started to do what you do as far as shaving heads for the football players and all the
Yeah.
other
So
stuff for like Granite Telecommunications, and I'd love to hear that.
yeah. So obviously, being a graduate of North Quincy High School, the Mohawk was the big style around the Turkey Day game, and some of my friends that I went to high school with, their kids played football, and they come to us get their haircuts, and they came in and said, "Let's do the Mohawks," and I was more than happy to do it. I actually did them in my North Quincy jacket that still fits me, believe it or not, after 35 years. So that was
Nice.
awesome. Yeah, the Granite Telecommunications buzz off was we have customers that work there, and they told me about it. And I always wanted to be involved with it because I first saw it, I think a clip on TV one time, and I was like, oh my God, I want to get involved with this and get in contact with the right people. Ended up, the first year was the Tom Brady year, which was pretty amazing. And just a great thing to be a part of. I mean, I don't think any one of us has not been touched by cancer. And me, unfortunately, very recently, my youngest daughter's boyfriend passed away of cancer at the ripe old age of 17. It was horrible. And just to
Wow.
be able to get back and do this is no, not an issue at all. Very happy to do it. And you get to rub elbows with local celebrities in the process, which is always a cool thing.
I love the idea of like tradition, and there's not many jobs that like have that sort of tradition and like family thing in life. So kind of just so different than it used to be. And there's something about the family and community that a barbershop brings together. It's you tell me if I'm wrong. I mean, it's more healthy, but it's similar to like a bar where people
Yeah,
come in, they tell you their stuff, and like
they
you
do.
have community and friendships.
Right. I love it best when the barbershop is full of people and people are talking to each other. and you make a new friend that way, and sometimes we have people come in that their best friend sitting in the chair, and they're like, hey, what's going on? Didn't know you'll come. It's just, that's how it is. The barbershop banter, the funny stories that are told or being told and at the
Mm.
barbershop. Like I said, we've done generations of children who've, first haircuts to elderly gentlemen and everybody in the middle as well. It's the best. It's a really good business. Very
Well,
happy.
I'm gonna have to make a plan to come in and get my hair cut by you, man.
Please
I'll
do.
I'll reach out and see when's a good time, but that'd be great.
Yeah,
I
that'd be
like
awesome.
I like I
Get to
like
experience
this.
Paul's.
What's that?
Get to experience Paul's.
Yes, yeah, experience Paul's barbershop. I'm psyched. I mean, I just love that idea of like family, your nephews being there, your dad being a barber, you're a barber, and you building this thing and knowing what you want to do so young. It's pretty
Yeah,
amazing. That's pretty
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Stay the course. That's it. Things work out well. And I think being a barber, that's one thing you have to understand is you can't jump from barbershop to barbershop. You have to find the place you like, where you fit, and stay, and things will work out just fine.
So for you, like when COVID hit, it interrupted everybody's life. It must have
Oh yeah,
crushed you pretty good, which unexpectedly, right?
yeah. We were closed. We got shut down for 2.5 months, which
Mm.
was not fun.
Thinking about your world, would you closest relate yourself to someone like Zohan? You know Zohan? Have you seen that?
Minus the shampoos. Great movie.
He's pretty funny in that. But I
Yes.
mean, is there like you know, is there I know that's kind of like a jokey movie. It's pretty funny, but I guess is there some movies that are drawn to hairstyling and barbering that you love?
Um, the movie Barbershops, besides being the funny part, but they took their haircutting seriously, which was pretty cool. And I know at one of the scenes at the end of the movie, first movie, it had one of the younger guys proven his worth. He had to give a great haircut, and he did a good job. So that's what it's all about. Just doing a good job, being good to the people, and usually most people when the first they come through our door, they usually end up coming back, and that's what it's all about.
Is
You know,
is it is there
well,
like a continuing ed or things that you do to stay on top of it? Because um, to be a player in that world, I'm sure you have to keep up with like having the clippers and stuff like that. I notice if I go into different places or whatever, some people have like crazy clippers and some people have just like, ho hum stuff.
all you need is got one right here in front of me. Actually, all you need is good clippers, and you put some attachments on there. Good razor, comb, and a good sharp pair of shears to do your work. That's really about it. But when it comes to like learning styles, it just some people show you pictures, which is great. It helps you a little bit, but you just sort of you figure it out on your own. You're doing it long enough, you can get it done.
Hmm. I'm sure you've had to do tons of different types of stuff.
Oh yeah, many different styles. Like from military now, uh, like all the bald fades are really popular. You do the hard part line, long beard trims, and doing all that stuff.
Oh,
But
you
it's
do
it's
beard?
it's fun.
You do beard
Oh, we
work
do.
too?
Yeah, yeah, we do beard trims, face shaves, very traditional.
Hmm.
Do it
Do
all.
you have you had to do any like designs?
Um, yeah, nothing too complicated though. Just like lines or things like that. But when it comes to doing like designs on hair, you have to really, really know what you're doing or take class in that field. But as continuing education goes for just being a regular barber, there really is none. You
No.
just sort of grown once you're out in the real world.
Yeah, well, it must be cool being with your family and going back and forth and like, watching what they do for a cut and their customers and seeing how like the whole just how, it's a community, so you see why some people gravitate their personalities to one cutter or another, and
Right,
just watching how like your whole world evolves is pretty cool.
right. Yeah, that's a big part of it, just, we become friends with each other's customers. And of course, we all have our own that typically wait for me or, somebody else in the shop, but there's plenty of guys that will sit with anybody, So yeah, and that's good because I could have a conversation with one customer, then he'll sit in my nephew's chair and he'll talk about my conversation with him, and then it all goes back and forth.
Yeah,
You know,
that's awesome.
oh
Well,
yeah,
I'm really excited we got the chance to talk, and looking
mm,
forward to stopping in at some point in the future and having a little haircut and a talk. But
yeah.
where can people find you?
So
Are you
we
have
are at
social media?
yes, only on Instagram. Instagram at Paul's Barbershop. That's where we
at
do us.
at Paul's Barbershop. Reach out and check out what he's up to. I'll follow you after this, and see all the cool things that are happening in Paul's community. Obviously, you seem like a really nice guy, and I'm excited that we got to talk, and I appreciate it. He's got merch, he's got hats and shirts, and you said you got hoodies too.
Hoodies as well. You got it.
For me, the biggest thing that comes away from what you said is you're working in a world that doesn't exist so much anymore. And it's about tradition and family. And right now, the world's so disconnected in so many ways. Um, it must be pretty cool to have your family with you and be carrying on a tradition like that of your father, who barber. For how many years was he a barber?
Oh, my dad. Let's see. He was barbering for probably 50 plus years altogether.
It's
Yeah,
amazing. And would you say you've been going for like 30 something?
yeah, 34 years myself.
That's that's impressive and awesome. I just
Thank
like
you.
the lineage in like I love this the family part of your story. That's a cool story.
Yeah,
You should
thank you.
do you
Yeah,
should
very
you should
blessed.
do you should do a lot of pictures and stuff of like your dad in the beginning days, and like you know I'm not saying you don't, you probably have, but I just love that story of you know having something just be so part of the community. It's cool.
Right. Yeah, actually chronicled a story down in Wallaston some years back. We were in it, me and my dad, and there's another kid working for us at the time. But yeah, we were part of that little chronicle story, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
Old Town. Yeah, it was good.
that's amazing. Well, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you, Paul. Everybody
You as
check out
well.
Paul's Barbershop at Paul's Barbershop on Instagram, and go check him out in Quincy. You're the man. Thanks for tuning in and having a little talk with us. Appreciate it, man.
Pleasure. Happy holidays.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Thank you.